if it's happening to one person, it's usually happening to several.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm looking through here. Let's see. I was tracking all of our funnel stuff. Nothing notable on our funnel. Like if any of our links are coming, a lot of our links that are turning into investments are direct traffic, which that means I would assume that they're just getting a link from somewhere that we're not tracking right now. But
So say that one more time. Sorry.
a lot of our investments are coming from what's being classified as direct traffic, which means somebody like either typing in wefunder.com/circles or clicking a link somewheres, but not from any of the emails that we've sent out from the campaign.
Okay.
We do have one that came from the link in bio.
So there's not even like a Rad Radio referrer on it?
Oh, I can let me resort that.
Because my guess is
so
go
ahead.
Either the link is being shared or people are still finding it through Rad's homepage. I also think we should update the graphic on their page.
Mm-hmm.
Want to get John and Ian's opinion on that, but I'd like to change it to 7,000 plus investors because it's going up.
We have 1,500 actually in the last month. It says from Rad. I don't know if that would be from the UTM link, but it says 1,500 of investments is coming from Rad.
What about like today, yesterday?
Same. So it's now I was looking at the past month.
Well, we didn't get 1,500 in the last couple days.
Well, it's just from people that click the link on Rad.
Well, yeah, but
no, we definitely got a lot more. A lot of it. So it's called direct traffic, which means that it could be either somebody typing in the URL or somebody sharing a link, like an iMessage or something, but not from Rad Radio because they have their own campaign link that they're using to track.
Are you telling me though that 1,500 came in today and yesterday?
Well, from Rad.
Yeah. I mean, 1,500 people visiting our page over 2 days.
Sorry, dollars.
Oh, dollars. I thought you meant people.
Dollars.
Well, that also doesn't make sense for the last 30 days. We know it's much higher than that.
Well, that's once we started tracking. We started in the past 7 days.
Okay.
Yeah, it was going to be a lot more useful if we had that tracking in a lot sooner.
Okay. Yeah, I want to dive deeper into those numbers with you, and everything that's happening through all of our analytics. So let's go ahead and awesome, love it. Should we get the exact number, or should we?
I can get that up like any second if we wanted.
Where's the exact number? I don't know if it really matters. I think 7,000 is a good round.
I don't know if y'all read in the investor chat too, where people were saying that the radio stations were airing Yelp ads.
Oh, it's always, I've seen that multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's not. I don't think that's Rob that determines the ads. It's the station.
We're at closer to 7,300 now.
Let's see. $72.85 is what I see. Well, it says $72.85 and then like 3 others, so it'd be $72.88.
Okay.
Really close to 73.
Okay. Let's say 7,200. And John, do you see any problem with us just updating this on their website?
No, it's fine.
Okay. All right, let's do it, Ian.
On it.
Cool, thank you. All right, well, let's go ahead and roll right in. And then John, when you get to a point where if we get to a point where you're cool with me jumping off with Jerry to dive into some of the analytics on what's happening with the traffic to the WeFunder page, I'd like to go into it a little bit this morning.
Yeah, we need to hear back from WeFunder.
I followed up with them 2 more times today. They did respond last night at 7:16 p.m. to the investor, and I was on the email, and they asked a question like, what was your desired investment amount? What banking information are you going to use? I'll check to see what happened and if there's a problem with the investor funnel. And the investor wrote back 8 minutes later and said, "This is the account I want to use. This is the amount, and I have money in the account." And they didn't respond to him. It was like someone checked their email right before they walked out of the office and then fired off a response and then didn't check again. So I CC'd Frances on that thread this morning. She's one of our account managers, for more visibility. And then I emailed her directly and asked her, how I can get same day quick responses. Who's going to be my hands-on account manager? Jake was always available via SMS directly and quick in the past. And here are a couple problems I see, and that we may have to hold off on marketing the campaign if we don't have confidence that everything's working from end to end.
Yeah. Okay. Let me know when they get back to you.
Okay.
Do you guys want me to send a quick response into the investor chat about the person who commented about Yelp ads?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, no problem. It's really easy. They don't control those ads. I'll just make I'll make a clarifying statement.
Right. And then tell them to listen through Sircles app.
Will do.
Cool. Thanks. So let's get started. Yeah. Amit, you want to start for us, please?
Yes, sir. So today I work on adding contact into tagged. So that is completed. Yep, and it is on QA. So yep, I also pinged Amin about it. So and I also work with Jerry to get that tagged contact in the feed query. So yeah, that's all done, and it is on QA.
Okay, I'd like to start testing that right away.
Well, we need to build that.
We need what?
A build that supports it. The new list.
Yep. Okay. Maybe we can get an APK. Speaking of which,
So like JD, sorry, Amin also need to work now that API changes from the upside.
Right.
But-
So Amin has to finish the work and then
he did yesterday.
okay, but you could do an APK that would only work for Android. So
I know, but we'd still be able to test it out.
right.
Hey, I mean, how'd it go?
Yeah, it's good. I will need one more front end change. Like yesterday was like the list of the friends, like list of people that you can tag, but the changes that Amit did, it's impacting the chicken button. So I was not able to do that. I was like waiting on him, so because like I need it. Now after he did it, I just like did my front end changes. So after the new build, you will be able to see this new change.
Okay, maybe we can get a full QA build then. How much more time do you need, I mean?
The PR needs a review.
Okay.
Like for me, I will just need like a 20 minutes to wrap this up right now, but it needs a review, and we can merge it for the next build.
Okay. Will you get it to Ismail when you're done?
Yeah. Yeah.
Both of you? Okay. Okay, great. And maybe we can get a QA build, and then maybe before the end of the day, a production build. That'd be great because it's Friday.
We should address that terms of service link too in the next build.
Is it broken?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do we need to?
Kind of a critical
Yeah.
issue.
Do we need to change the link, like the trillion slash?
No, we didn't change the link. It's the looks like React Native navigation isn't mounted or something in that screen. It says navigate is undefined. I linked the issue in development chat.
Okay. I can fix it. It will not be a lot of work. It's something there, so I'll fix it and see what's going on there.
awesome. Thank you. I mean, thank you, Jerry. Chantel, did you end up getting the APK yesterday and testing out the keyboard?
I did not send that. No, it was giving me some errors, and I ended up each one would take me like 30 minutes to throw the error. So I honestly couldn't spend a lot of time
Oh,
trying to get it to work. So I'm probably gonna try to fix it when I'm done with the main tasks to get the build ready, which is seeing why chat is being so slow on Android. But yeah, it was basically throwing me errors, and it takes like it throws it at the end of the cycle, like around 20-25 minutes. So it kept crashing on me, and I was like, I'll work on that later. So just have it as part of the build today.
okay. Why do you think it was doing that?
It's not crashing. It's like sometimes you just need to like patch something, do something. Like I remember I've ran into problems like this in the past, or sometimes it's just missing something, or maybe the signing key was off, or you know what I mean. It's not necessarily something complicated. It's just each time it was taking me 20 minutes. So after like 2 tries, I was like, let me just put this aside because if um I think if I'm like coding and adding stuff to the branch as it's creating the build, like I think I shouldn't commit code as it's creating the build. So that's why I was like, let me focus on the other issues and I'll get this working later for
Mhm.
future APK builds.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it would be helpful to have that in our arsenal.
Yeah. Like I said, it's probably nothing major, but like I said, it was consuming too much time which we didn't have. So I also like ended my day around 5. So I had to get the other stuff
For sure.
more attention.
Okay. Did you get a chance to work on that keyboard at all or test it out? I know you updated the library, but did you
I
test?
tested it out. Like I said, it didn't seem to have. Well, it was hard for me to recreate it to begin with, and after I updated it, same thing. I didn't see any crashes, any um any of that behavior. But it was always hard for me, or I never actually reproduced it to begin with, so I really wouldn't know.
Okay.
Does Todd have this problem? Is he here? I'm also curious if this is a common problem on his Android.
That's right. I forgot he was not on the call when we were discussing it. Todd, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Do you ever notice a situation where your keyboard on the Android overlaps the input field and so like you only see about half of the letters that you can type and
Uh,
about half the emojis?
mm, I don't think I've seen that before.
Okay.
Is there examples of it in development that someone has, or screenshots that I can look at?
Yeah. Is it in development channel, Chantel? I think she dropped a couple screen records in there yesterday.
Okay, let me look. I'll get back to you. Maybe
Yeah,
a
let me.
couple minutes.
Yeah, I think you use a different keyboard too, though, right?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, actually, quick question. Oh, Chantel just went away. I was going to ask her because remember, Android keyboards are different from phone to phone too. So while it might not be a third-party keyboard, it could be like a Samsung unique keyboard or something like
That's
that.
right.
Might have to look at that too.
She says she uses the default one.
Right, but default
But
is
it could be
still
default
different.
Samsung.
Right.
Well, she
Right.
means like she didn't like necessarily like I don't know. She just like I was like, they're using in specific users, like, no, just the one that like when you first load the phone, the ones that come like the one that
Yeah,
that
they still do actually differ a little bit. Like if you get a Google Pixel, the keyboard is technically a different keyboard than if you get a Samsung S24. They use different keyboards stock.
correct, but hers is the Samsung keyword.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I
Maybe
just wasn't sure.
are there multiple Samsung keyboards?
There very well could be because Samsung's gone through iterations, and I wouldn't be surprised if they even create slightly different variations for different size phones. They make wildly varying phones. Some of them even have a stylus, and it would not be unlikely that they have a slightly tweaked keyboard for phones that come with a stylus that would create a better user experience. So that could be a factor too.
Okay. Okay.
And just to kind of keep in mind that this doesn't happen to her right away. Like it kind of happens after she uses the app for a little bit. So it's not like, oh, she loads the app and it's like that.
Yeah. That new image is live, by the way, on the 7200 investors. I got that up on the site.
Okay, cool. Um, all right, well, let's continue with Amit. Um, Amit, you looked into the some of the photo issues too, right?
The photo issue with yesterday we identified now it was problem from the server was restarted, right? And QA the what Ismail sent it to me. QA we did not run the script like the way you all mentioned. So it was problem in QA, not on the production.
Okay.
Clean up the screen script.
Okay.
Yeah. So the image which Ismail sent me, it is from the QA, and we did not run a script on QA.
Okay.
I checked.
um, Danny, did you ever hear back from Kevin about did he recreate the steps? Yeah.
No.
Okay. Follow up with him and let's get a screen record.
Okay.
Let me know if it's probably happening again.
That way we can. Yeah. I want to make sure because I have a feeling this could be an ongoing problem, and it's a great opportunity to prevent it forever.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Amit. Yeah.
And John, let me know what I work next.
Okay, will do.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, Ismail, why don't you continue for us?
Yeah, sure. So yesterday I added the signature move or interaction to sending a message, and I also opened it to everyone basically, and created a PR for that, so it should be ready to review whenever gets a chance. Um, Now, as far as so I have two things that I'm kind of moving between the obviously the refactor of the shares, which we can technically push to a build. It's not complete yet in terms of not all, well, like whatever tabs or I should say um, bottom sheets we call them that have been refactored are working, and I added the new links to them for the sharing for the outside and inside circles. So if we want to have them in the app, we can. It's just not all the cards are ready. So I don't know if we want to kind of implement or push it, you know, incrementally.
Which ones are ready?
So the ones already are the ones that I demoed yesterday, which will be the on the cards on feed and discovery and cares, but
Okay.
not including books and podcasts.
Mhm.
And the profile, when you go to a profile and you share, you want to share somebody's profile,
That
that
one you
one's
already.
already.
I thought that was the first one you did.
Yeah. I'm telling you what are the ones that are done.
Oh, the ones are done, right? Okay, so
Yeah,
those are
yeah,
all done except not books or podcasts.
yeah. And so on feeds on the book and podcast on discovery feed and user feed are like I said, we need to refactor the card.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember.
Yep.
Uh, so yeah.
Yeah, I think we should go with the ones you have done, and then
Okay.
maybe
And
do podcast ones.
yeah, I was gonna say, well, podcast won't. I can't do it on the discovery feed or activity feed, but I can do it in the one after you click on the podcast and on an episode.
That one for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do
The other
that.
because the other one needs to refactor the card, which I can do today if I only focus on that.
Right. Otherwise, what else do we have?
Otherwise, I was looking into um the app being slow in chat. Um, Now I'm not looking at the app overall. I'm just specifically looking app being slow in chat on Android.
Hmm.
Now, weirdly enough, this has been a thing. I went back like 3, 4 weeks, probably a month and a half also worth of builds, and I am seeing the same pattern. So in iOS, when you're switching between the tabs in particular, it's kind of stable in terms of speed on iOS. Now on Android, the more tabs you go, like the more tabs you click, the slower the app gets.
Mhm.
So now, obviously, why it's working on iOS and not on Android is most likely how, like, so these tabs are going to obviously get converted to native code, and they get handled differently on iOS and Android. And apparently iOS handles it better than Android. But still, I don't know what in particular is causing Android to get so slow. Like, even when I click on the tab, it takes it like
And when you
3
say tab,
seconds to
you mean topic?
a topic.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, each topic is a tab.
Yeah.
So when I click on a topic, like after clicking like 10 or 15 topics,
Mhm.
eventually it's like I just click on a topic and literally takes it like 3 seconds just to make the API call. I was like, wait, is the API call getting slow? Like, why is it not fetching the data so fast? And then I looked at it, no, the API call is fast. It's just the phone takes it, like the Android takes forever to actually make the API call. It just becomes so slow.
Mm.
And I was kind of doing some debugging, and then I tried to like, okay, I was like, okay, let me clear the Android tabs. So when so each tab, I removed the actual like, chat and the scroll view, and then it became super fast. It doesn't slow down anymore. So what, like, I don't know if it's because chat itself is heavy, like it's big and they have poor memory management or poor tab management. I don't know, the ins and outs on how they do that necessarily on the native side.
You
Or I
fixed
don't know
it
if
by
it's
removing the scroll view?
no, I didn't fix it. What I'm saying is I removed the whole component, like the whole chat, to see
Mm.
if that behavior is still there.
Mhm.
And when I
So
noticed that,
removing the tab, the topics altogether.
no, not removing the topics. The topics are still there. It's just when you click on it, nothing loads really. I just load an empty component,
And then there's no problem.
and then yeah, there's no like you click because even if you click on the tab, it takes a second to select the tab. Like everything becomes so slow. So after removing the actual chat component and just returning an empty component, it stayed fast throughout like 50, like 20, 30 tabs. Like there was no slow. So what I'm trying to say is the problem is not just having a bunch of tabs, is having a bunch of heavy tabs is what's causing the problem.
Hmm.
Now, like I said, is it because just chat is so heavy? Is it a specific component inside chat that's
Also,
causing
why is it a
delay?
bigger issue in the latest build versus prior builds?
It's not bigger. Like I don't know. At least I don't know if I don't know if we're just noticing this. I don't use Android as a user, um, but I did go back. Like I said, like 9 builds almost, trying different builds.
Mhm.
It's the same behavior on all of them.
Hmm. Okay.
And um, let me see if well, I guess we can't downgrade easily on Android. But I don't know if there was a breaking point. I went back like I think around 9 builds. I don't know if I go back more if it's not there, but it has been a thing. And
Okay.
I'm still kind of determining what exactly is it. Like, so what I'm trying to do today is instead of removing all of chat, like I came to the conclusion that it was like this at the end of the day. But today, what I'm going to do is break down chat even more. So instead of just commenting everything out, I'm going to start targeting certain components and seeing if I can see behavior changes by um, removing certain things until I see what impacts it the most. And it could very well be that, the tabs are just too heavy and that's how Android handles it. But we never know unless I break down chat, like I said, piece to piece and see exactly what's affecting it the most. Maybe we can optimize that. Maybe, I don't know, we can take a look at a different approach. So we'll see.
Hmm.
Even though I will say our chat is pretty optimized. Like we are following, best practice. We
Right.
are using flash list. But still, I want to see exactly. Maybe there's something in particular that's causing it. I really don't know.
Hmm. Um, yeah, because I mean, what's the solution if it's the tabs themselves.
Um, I, one thing would be, even I don't know if this was like this is a probably worst case scenario, but I don't know if I still don't know if we can do this or not. Instead of like each tab gets cached,
Mhm.
and once we click on another tab, like if I have a console log in one tab and I click on another, they all get logged. That kind of tells me they all get kind of re-rendered.
Oh,
Um, no, I don't know if this is expected behavior.
that doesn't seem like a good idea.
Or not. So that's something that I kind of need to work with Amin on this because it's also connected with Showtime, which he's familiar with, um, because we're using that. So what I'm trying to say is two things: either we unmount a tab maybe on Android after we move away from it, because right now they all stay cached and mounted pretty much. Um,
Mm.
so maybe doing that would fix it, but I don't know if that first of all if that's an option, and if it is on the Showtime library, and if it is, if it would obviously just mean that every time you switch between tabs that you've already clicked on, it'd be a little bit slower because it has to load it from API instead of cache.
Also, like for re-rendering, I don't think like every time you switch tab, tab can every tab re-renders, and that you can verify that easily if you have like a console log inside the use effect of the tab of like the tab. If like oh like if you see for if you have 10 tabs and you've seen 10 console logs, that means yeah they all render when you switch in tab,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I think you can verify. But I don't think so that the case because the scrolling position also you can verify that visually. Like if you go to a tab and you scroll and you go to other tab, you do something, then you go back to the other tab, the scroll position it remains, I think, in its
Yeah.
place. Means nothing really got re-rendered. But yeah, I think the issue what's going on in here, it's like the growing memory for tabs because
Well,
as you
here's the
open,
thing, just about memory. It doesn't actually take up a lot of memory. Like it's not a memory leak, so to speak. Like
okay,
when I was looking at the memory increase, it was very minimal. It was like normal, like right, like after 15 tabs, like 100 megabytes, 150 megabytes, which is not bad. Like it's expected. So I wouldn't say it's a memory leak. I would say it's the sheer amount of tabs that are mounted. Like maybe the normal render, but I know.
mounted. What do you mean tabs are like
Well,
you saying
what I'm
if
saying is,
tabs are mounted, that's good. I mean,
yeah,
well, but you saying just the issue. I'm not trying to follow you. The
but like
last
yeah. So like the more tabs you have open,
part.
the slower the device becomes.
Because I think it's memory. Because now,
Well,
or
that's
CPU,
what I'm saying. It's not eating up memory, at least from what I can tell.
yeah.
Like after
Hmm,
monitoring the memory, it really didn't increase that much.
hmm.
Um, again, you can, um, w- let's do another memory test, just to be safe. So with, uh, so you know how you have like a profiling memory. So first of all, I looked at it on iOS, and for sure iOS the memory doesn't increase by a lot. Um, which if it was a memory leak, I would assume it would be for both. And then I looked at Android, but Android I kind of use the dev tools we have to like one of the tabs gives you
Uh,
like the memory increase. Now I tried to
if
use the profiler, which it doesn't like how when you can do like profile like run and then you can stick profile and you can do like low memory heap or whatever it's called.
yeah,
It that one when I create that
well,
build and I click on the app, it keeps shutting down right away. So I
okay.
kind of looked at the what's it called?
If you wanna profile memory, you have to use the native tool. The diff tools that will only inspect like the JS thread memory, not like the
Mhm.
whole app memory. That's why I guess you were not seeing the whole thing. Like as for Xcode, there's like that instrument where you see the memory. Like there's a tool inside the Android Studio. I don't know what's the name. It gotta be something profile.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
I know which one you're talking about, and that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. That specific tool, like you go to profile and you create a
Yeah,
build meant
yeah,
to be ran with the
that's the
memory,
one
and
I
that
want.
build is it keeps like it doesn't open. It basically click on it, closes the app right away. I've done it like a lot of times before, but now it seems to be not wanting to open in that specific uh profile build.
Okay. Not sure about
Mm,
this.
and I'm not sure if this is a problem with my Android Studio, maybe, because like the builds are also the APK builds are giving me a hard
And
time.
you don't have to do a build from Android Studio to profile the memory from Android Studio. You just run the app normally as you do. Open Android Studio and look for attached instead of doing a new build. There's something there called attached or process, and you will be able to provide memory while the app running without doing a new build from Android Studio.
You said attach.
Attached, yeah, something is gonna be attached. Let me open Android Studio and
Do you
see
know
what's.
where that is exactly?
Let me open Android Studio right now. I give you the right name.
Had to step away for a sec. Sorry, did we get a solution to the terms of service link not working? Are we? Is that implemented already?
I don't know who's looking into that.
Yeah, because that could get us yanked from the App Store like any minute. We have a legitimate reason to believe that we might get reported for it, so
Yeah.
we really need to look at that.
Are we talking about the links? The
The
term?
On the welcome
yeah,
screen.
on the
Yeah,
welcome screen.
that I'll be taking care of that. Let me do it right now. It's like on the onboarding, the welcome screen.
Yeah, on the right before you onboard, there's the terms of service link is not
Hang
working.
on. Is it circles.com/terms?
Well, I don't know where it's actually pointing because
Not a web issue. It is not a web issue. It is a front end issue that the navigation isn't properly mounted.
Right, but where does the link actually go? Because it used to be circles.com/terms to my knowledge, and I just typed it in directly and I'm getting a 404.
Circles.com/terms.
Yeah.
Are you typing it in right? Oh, are you doing the trailing slash? Is there a trailing slash?
Yeah, there
flag?
is a trailing slash. Hang on. Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's if you go in the app, if you go from the hamburger screen and you type terms and you click terms of service, it loads fine.
Okay.
If you,
Okay, I fixed the issue. It was a front end issue. But like yeah, the 404 it's there for the
what
for
are
the
we doing for privacy policy? I see that one is returning 404.
right.
What
There's a privacy policy as well that is attached or should be attached.
what link are we doing for that, Ami?
It's the circles.com/privacy, and there's like a trailing slash at the end.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to just remove it, the trailing slash?
Yeah, I'll also do something to address that right now. Thought I did, but
Yeah, yeah. Just to be clear, the hamburger menu terms of service works, but the privacy policy doesn't.
I got it.
404.
Yep.
yeah, but and I'm pretty confident the hamburger menu terms of service is pointing to that invest.circles.com/terms. It looks to be formatted the same.
Well, I fixed the issue for navigating to the privacy policy and terms of services from the welcome screen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Ismail, like the menu, like in Android Studio, the menu at the top it says run, like the option run. If you select it, you will see attached to a process. Like from the list,
Attach
there's
what?
attached
Oh,
to process.
okay.
Then if you have in the app running and everything, you should be seeing circles there.
Okay. Let me see if that works.
Jerry, after stand up at some point, I'm gonna look forward to your education for me on trailing slashes because WordPress insists on them existing, and I can never figure out how to get rid of them.
Interesting. I'm just I'm doing a regex right now to check for it.
Cool.
We have like because we moved circles.com to invest.circles.com, there are some URLs that I had to set up to like redirect.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah. Let me, Danny, Ian, get with me with what y'all need like soon because I'm gonna have to get out by like at the absolute latest 5 to head to the airport. So
Wait,
luckily,
what you need for what?
like whatever y'all need to meet with me on, as long as it's before 5 my time, so let me know because I'm gonna have a hard stop by then.
Yeah. Okay. Where are you going?
Going to Chicago for the weekend.
Cool.
Told y'all about it.
Danny might not have been there yesterday when you were talking about it.
No, I put it,
Um,
message y'all. But,
I remember. Amin and Ismail, where did you guys go? I got distracted with another message. But
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if the memory usage using a different tool on Android to see if it is a memory problem where it's like eating up all the memory or something else. So
Okay.
just give me like I guess a few more minutes here and I can tell.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. And then Amin, you want to continue with the update?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yesterday, finished everything related to tag in France screen, all the issues and everything that it's there. And today's morning, after did the changes for the backend that we needed for the contact. If a user selected the contact for to tag, I did the front end changes for that as well. So yeah, once the PR is merged, we can test that. And also, we were jumping on like on stuff like things that I fixed. Yeah, I fixed an issue. That's like the group, like the discovery group at the top of the lobby. There was an issue, like some of where did nothing there. So it was because that query it's not really dependent on the location. I thought like location it's like it's a must, but it was like an option. It's optionally. So I did fix that. So now that will be there. Also, the start convo. We did some changes yesterday. How we handle that to make sure we always show relevant content for a user to share. So we went with whomever the user has more favors to show. That's the favors that's gonna go there. Yeah,
Yeah,
I did.
that one. That's gonna be a little trickier to test. But have you
Yeah,
done much testing on that?
no, that was I was about to do. I'll be yeah, it's all done the work. It's just like I need to test it a little bit more to be like confident. It's all good there. And
Yeah.
yeah, and of course we need more QA test.
Yeah, let's do a little QA testing on that today. Um, we have some phones that are new accounts in QA, so we could use those.
Yeah, and yeah, those are my updates for today. I still have to look for that issue, like the home, like the home menu, like
Yeah.
after the question board, like the image was missing with the user key. It was saying undefined.
Okay.
So, so yeah, I will need to fix that as well today. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. And that problem maybe fixes another problem too. But I forget what it was. I think it had something to do with like an undefined in the start the combo.
No, they're not related at all. So
Where was it? There was another issue though. We were thinking that could affect what if you were to fix it in that menu.
the
It was
men,
called, yeah, in the hamburger menu.
yeah.
Yeah, wasn't there? I mean, there was a couple issues. Like there was no profile image that showed up,
Yeah,
but there was also something else. I thought it had
it was
some.
the user key at the very bottom, like no, at the bottom. That's it. That should be user key, but it says undefined.
Yeah, but wasn't there another issue right after onboarding that we're thinking maybe it was because
Let me
of
look.
that?
I don't think so. Let me look our messages if there's anything there.
Okay.
Um, no, I don't see it, but I see other issues that we shared that I need to look into.
Okay, what else is there?
There is the onboarding issue, like on the phone number. Like there's this video you sent me where it tries to start the process of like logging in before even the user entered the phone number.
That's
Maybe, yeah, maybe it has something to do with the alert for notification permission.
right. Okay, yeah, you haven't looked into that one yet, right?
Yeah, and also like to remove that done button from the compose message at the
Okay.
top right. So yeah,
Okay.
there's a few issues that's still hanging in there that I need to take care of.
Okay. Well, those will be good for today, and maybe get a production build later.
Yeah.
Um, if
Uh,
Ismail needs any
yeah,
assistance.
I mean, it doesn't seem to be like when I click on attach to processor, even though the app was running, it's it's empty. Like you can't select anything.
What do you, what's you can what's you can select?
Nothing. It's
Where? Like
when you
um,
click on attach to process,
oh,
it's just, it opens a
okay.
attach to, and then it says no processing to attach to.
Okay, let me see what's let me try it and see how it's gonna be for me. I'm gonna
Okay.
tell you there's a missing step.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't-
So
cool.
yeah, that was it. Okay, great. Thank you. Let's go to Wells. Hey, Wells, can we get your update, please?
Yes, sir. So yesterday we worked on investigating that issue that was happening. So creating the pixel emulator and debugging that state in where the user had like an outdated validation. By the way, on that, Jerry, did you see that I sent you a screenshot
Yeah.
on the information we have about the user from Firebase?
No, I was working on something else. Okay, it looks like, yeah, it looks like there's a user. Okay.
Yeah, so we have their phone number, but
But there's a user ID, which so we're authenticated. That
okay,
means we need to grab their token.
okay, and how could we do that?
I think were you going to work with Ismail on that to call the get ID token method and update the Apollo client?
Yeah, perhaps I can help. I'm just like ideating right now, like bringing the ideas for us to implement.
Yeah, there's a method called get ID token, and that
Mhm.
the token, and you have to update the Apollo client, which I know it's not very straightforward, but you need to update whatever token that we're pulling when we call the queries to use that token we're getting from the method call.
Okay, and based on the screenshot I sent you, we know that the user is logged in. They have a user ID, they have a phone number, so perhaps that is possible to do, right?
Correct. If we have a use, if it is not null, we are logged in. That's how Firebase works. If it's not null, we're logged in. We can get a token.
Sounds good. Yeah. So will Ismail work on that matter?
I don't know. Ismail, did you look into it?
Sorry, I was working on something else that looked into it.
So remember how we were looking at the end of yesterday about the ID token being null, the authentication token.
Oh, no, I never looked into that. I thought Worlds was working on that.
He did, and he was able to identify that he is signed in, but he doesn't have a token. So I know if he might need help working on updating the Apollo client to use the new token.
So you're saying that there is no token to begin with.
Correct. He has no token right now, but if he calls the Firebase method for get current user, it does return something, which means that he's authenticated.
Yeah. So we have to somehow
the user ID and the other information.
fetch a token somehow, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I need to look into that. I need to see how I can, because we don't want to refetch it every time. Like, well, at least with the function we have now, it's supposed to like get you the token, which is weird. And if there's not one, it should refresh it or generate a new one. So I'm a little confused of why not it's behaving or why it's not returning a token necessarily. Yeah, let me look into that after I'm done here with these two tasks that I have. I'll have to see if we can somehow check if there's no token and somehow dynamically fetch a new one. Or because like I don't want to like you can pass in true and always force it to like get a new token, but I don't know if I don't think that's a good idea. Because that'll do it with every API call as we talked about yesterday. So yeah, I mean, if you want to start like the research to see how, like, if you can find anything useful, that would be great. And then I can kind of, if you can figure out, I can probably help you after I'm done with these two tasks.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with how the notification works, so I would rather work in that either like with you or at least.
I mean, it's really nothing, or so. I think it's authenticated. Like, what I want you to maybe look into is if you go to let me see, Apollo client v2, and the like really the authentication part of things, you'll see a comment says create an authentication link or an auth link that access the Fire ID token. So starting from line like 29 to line 43. That's
I see. Yeah,
really
I don't have that code here
What do you mean?
because a step to reproduce the error is getting a version before 2.2. So I am in an older version that doesn't have that authentication, but I guess I can navigate between those two states of the app to get that code. And
Wait, so you're saying to recreate this, you have to go to a version before 2.2?
exactly, because the issue is the user were logged in a previous version of the app. So I had to go to a previous version of the app to do this outdated onboarding to have that state happen. So that's why the shell
Well, that's not really recreating it because that state will always happen in anything older than 2.2 because that code doesn't exist as you said. So that's not really reproducing it. Reproducing it would be you being in a version that does have this code and it's not working. Because that's what the problem we're seeing.
Yeah, but yeah, I see what you mean. I forgot this last part of the step, which is basically going to the latest development and installing everything, but keeping this login up. So yeah, indeed, it is only 90% of the problem. There is the getting the updated. Yeah, I see what you mean now.
Okay.
So what do you want me to take a look at into the Apollo client v2?
So you see how we're generating that? Do you see the whole auth token thing or auth link?
Yeah, we'll take notes on this. Looking into this once I update the code.
Yeah. So I want you to see if the token is getting generated there. If after you are able to reproduce it in the newer build.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you are, let me know if there's any token. If there's any token, let's see potential solutions that we can do to maybe have it generate a token if there isn't one without having generating anyone with every single API call.
I see. Yeah, I will get the state that I'm on in the app, update it, and I will be already logged in on this outdated version, but on the newer version. So this will be exactly the scenario that we want to test.
Cool.
Yep. And also, John, on my updates, I also worked on the pink bio on the edit bio screen and updating also the font size for that. That is 90% on. I just need to make it so when the user goes to edit his bio for the first time, it switches from the pink to the white. So I'll have to add some logic for that to happen, and and I think that will be it for that feature. But I paused working on that to work on this other investigation that we're doing.
Okay. Do you feel like you have a good direction now on the investigation?
Yes, sir. Got a good direction on it, and I will do this extra couple steps, and then I'll release the guys to
Okay.
follow up.
Okay. And I should mention to Ismail, was talking to Wells a little bit yesterday about his experience with atomic design. He says he's got several years of experience. Um, maybe for the last couple cards, um, if you think it's a good idea, we could have Wells refactor or making new cards.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Just well, as long as you, um, I want you to please like look at the previous cards. So just the basically podcasts and books are the ones remaining that need to be refactored, but the go off of the design for the like. So there's two card files. We have our old cards and our new card
Mm-hmm.
system. Uh, so we want to go off of the new one and basically use the new header, the new body, the new atoms, the new avatars, all that. So if you want, before you start on that, I can just tell you real quick what's the old, what's the new, and then if you want to refactor it, and maybe we can even delete the old, that'll be even better. Um,
Yeah, sounds good. As soon as I finish the stuff I'm currently working on and open the PRs and etc.,
Yeah.
I will reach to you on getting
okay.
it up on that.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, great. And Chantel could probably help direct you in Figma, like where to look for stuff. Because a lot of the all those atoms and molecules are there. Okay,
Sounds good.
very good. Cool. Okay. Were you gonna say something else, Ismail?
Um, mm, well, talking about different topics. So for the profile, I mean, I don't know, maybe running on a different Android studio than the one I am on, but weirdly enough, yesterday on my Mac Mini, it wasn't working, but now I'm running it on my laptop, and the profile did work by creating a profiler build. Attachments didn't work on this one, so not sure if attachments work on my other one. Long story short, I was able to get the native memory profiler to work on the app, and I am going through topics right now. And again, nothing crazy. It's 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 still under 1 gig of memory usage after going through 15 plus topics. So I really don't think it's a memory leak. You hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, I heard you. Just most of the time, things got slow because there's a memory leak going on. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah, correct. And it does really feel like a memory leak in terms of user experience, but it's not. I'm looking at it. It's it's fine. Like it's literally under 1 gig after so many tabs. Um, so what is it exactly? Like I said, I really don't know, and so I need to kind of, like I said, break down chat into pieces and try to see what impacts it the most and then zero down on it from there.
It sounded like you had a good theory about the unmounting of the tabs when you're done
Well,
with it.
it's not. I'm just saying like that's how the tab view works, where it like they all stay kind of cached. So I would say they all stay mounted on like.
So that adds up like cumulatively more
Well,
memory.
here's the thing. On iOS, for example, it handles it fine.
Yeah.
But on Android, it seems like it's not.
Because different hardware, right?
Huh?
Because of the different hardware.
Not the different hardware, the different way they handle it
Hmm.
natively.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, I don't know. I mean, if we unmount them as like if you switch between one tab to the other, it doesn't cache it. It just kind of like unmounts it and just mounts the other one. I don't know if that would help. I don't know. First of all, is that even an option? Second of all, if it is option, I don't know if we want to necessarily go that path because it will lead to a slightly worse user experience just because every time you switch between tabs, it will take a little longer, even though you just click that tab.
What all is being cached? Like how much information? Image?
That's the thing, not a lot because the memory usage is very low. It's still under 1 gig.
Right.
So even if the stuff are getting cached, it's not a lot of stuff. Like we have, yeah, sure, we have images. We have, I mean, videos might lead to, well, even videos. No, I refactored it where it doesn't cache the videos actually.
So it doesn't cache anything in the conversation.
No, it does.
It does cache the
But that's what
conversation.
I'm saying. It caches images and text,
Huh.
not videos. It used to cache videos on Android, and if you remember, that's why Android used to crash all the time before the video refactor,
Mm-hmm.
because it was even caching the videos.
Mm.
And yeah, but now it's not. But it is still pretty slow once you have a lot of tabs open.
Maybe you don't cache the images.
Well, with video, well, the images are cached in a different way, where like they're cached by fast image, not by the tag. 'Cause we just have a link to the images. Remember? Now the videos, they were actually cached in the video player. Those were big. Now these are cached by fast image. That's not the problem. Like is what I'm trying to say.
I see.
It's because we cache images all over the app outside.
Yeah, it's not the full image. It's just the URL.
Well,
right?
no, we cache the image and fast image caches it. But what I'm trying to say is it's not even that much images. Like I'm going through topics that don't have any images really.
Yeah, but there's images on every topic. Every topic has
Yeah,
an
but it's such a small image that no, it's not the image itself that's being cached is the problem because the memory usage is very, very low.
let's say there's 25 topics. You cache 25 images and you tap on one more topic, just one of those 25. Does it recache all 25 and now you have 50?
It doesn't recache them, no.
I thought you had said that the other day that it like, is that possible? Like that it could keep adding 25 each time?
No.
You're positive.
Yeah. Because the memory, as I mentioned, is not growing exponentially. It's going very, very small.
Why does it get so slow?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. But what I'm saying is it's not a memory leak.
So it's not even a memory issue if the memory is only growing a little bit.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So it's a totally different issue.
Correct.
And what are the other potential culprits like CPU?
Well, I'm looking at the CPU usage. It's also very small.
Okay. What about the JS thread?
Well, again, well, it's not like okay. So this is what I like. This is what I'm pretty sure this is the problem is that having multiple tabs in chat, that these heavy tabs are causing this problem.
But
Like
heavy
you
in
know that
what
for sure.
way? It's not heavy in terms of memory.
Like not heavy. The chat, the chat tabs.
Oh, just having a
Having a
large
chat
number.
tab
Yeah.
inside. So each topic is a chat tab. Having multiple of these is causing a problem. That's what I was able to cut. That's the conclusion I came to yesterday.
I see.
Because if you replace it with small components, there's no problem. It's specifically having chat tabs open. Now, our first theory was memory leak, which is a good place to start, obviously,
Hmm.
but I don't think it is. And looking at the data here, I'm positive it's not.
Well,
Now,
Ismail is not a memory leak, but it is a memory issue because just right now, as you're talking, I had this going on, and I started with when I was just like in a chat. I started from 700 megabytes, and as I what I just do is just like switching tabs,
mhm,
clicking tabs, and now it's like 1.3 gigs of RAM. So
1.3, you said?
yeah, so it increased like a 500 megabytes just by switching tabs. So yeah,
How many
it's not
tabs
only
did you go through?
like it's like the Saturday event, so it's like how many of those here? Like oh, like this is like 15, 20 tab total that's go hit there. So I keep switching between them, and it's yeah, like the memory grows bit by bit, not like as a sign of memory leak, but as you keep like switching, it keeps increasing.
It's cumulative.
Yeah, so in that's like I think this is how this is it's like you can say it's by design how it will be this way because each tab that it's loaded as you were explaining is cached, so it's there in the memory, and it's not just the image, it's not just like the like every little component there, it's like saved up in the memory. So yeah, the solution for it, I don't know about like this is what's going on. It's like
Mm. Well, here's the weird thing, right? Everything you said is valid, but even 500 after opening a few tabs is not crazy. Because so here's the thing: the tabs you're opening are probably like more loaded, like they have more chat in them, right? I'm opening
mm-hmm,
tabs on my personal chat, like just me with test me. And these are these tabs that I have are pretty much empty. Like I just create these topics, I just create these events for like I'm just testing creating them in the past. So I'm going through them and it's still under 1 gig of memory after, like I said, 15, 20 tabs. That being said, it only increased like less than 100 megabytes, or let's say it increased 100, which is still not a lot when you have like most phones have 8 to 16 gigs of memory. Uh, so it's still being very very slow. Like for 100 for a 100 memory increase, I mean, let's say even 400 memory increase to the speed being slowed down by more than 50%, that still doesn't add up to like are you seeing
so
the the performance hit though, like on your phone right now when you do go through
yeah,
those tabs?
yeah. When I switch, yeah, when I
But
try
but
to switch tab, I press.
like normally the phone starts behaving like that when you're at like maximum capacity of RAM, which I don't think you're there yet. Like you know what I mean? Like even if it uses 70% of your RAM, your phone will still feel fairly fast until it reaches like 90 plus, where it has to like clear the RAM and then you know what I mean? Which I don't think your phone is there yet, even with 500 plus megabytes of extra usage. Because like on my phone, I'm giving it's not even using 50% on my phone, like on my simulator right now. It's getting very slow. So that's why I'm kind of not convinced it's because it's using up more RAM.
What do you think, Amin?
Well, yeah. Well, also what he's saying is valid. Like, an increase of 500 megabytes should not really slow down everything. Even, I mean, but again, it's Android. Just adding 500 megabytes on top of what you already have will slow down things because in the nature of Android. So
Okay, let's do this. Do you have a chat that let's go a chat that's less, less active. Go to a chat that doesn't have a lot of, like, the tabs are empty.
okay, let me.
If you have
What's
one with
this?
like a lot of tabs, like maybe you're testing creating topics or something, and that one should give you a small RAM increase because the chats are empty, but you will still see the dramatic performance hit.
Yeah, I see. So like you see, like the shoulder
Or you're
encodings,
breaking up,
what they're
hitting
doing. It's not like the tabs itself.
sorry, your voice is
They,
breaking.
you can hear me.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, saying that the issue like it's the hard components
Is
that
it
it
just bad for me, or
itself,
can
not like the tab components
you guys
itself.
not hear? Sorry, I mean, your voice is breaking a lot for me. I don't know if it's just for me or is it for everyone.
He's breaking up.
No,
You're breaking up there, I mean.
I'm not in my place, so yeah, it might be my internet speed is not that fast here. Um, you guys can hear me now. Let me just
yeah, sounds good now.
He's dropped. He's probably rejoin here.
Okay.
you guys can hear me now, good.
Yeah, sounds
Yes.
good now.
Yeah, I'm not in my place, so I don't have really good internet here. So um, I was saying I get it. Is in the issues like in the child components that goes inside the tab, right?
Well, that's my theory. Just because when I replace it with empty components, it stays fast. And when I have even
Yeah.
small chat components, like like they just have you just created a topic, nothing else, zero chat in them, it still slows down. So that's why I'm seeing only like 100 megabyte or 150 megabyte of increase because my chats are empty, like absolutely nothing in them. But it's still getting very, very slow. So that's why I'm thinking maybe something in the chat. I'm not sure. I still need to do more testing.
I mean, you're cutting out again. I think it's worse.
Now is it good? Is it clear now? It's taking off.
Yeah, that was clear. What were you
Okay.
saying before?
So yeah. Um, I was about to say that yeah, this will need like more testing to see like what's really the component that goes inside the chat that caused this slow. And yeah, my question was serious, man. That's like you were saying that like even if you have empty chats, you have slow the chat gets slow. Like tabs. Like you have empty tabs and the chat gets slow.
Yeah. So they're not empty. They just have like when you create a topic, you just have the topic card, that one message.
Yeah,
That's all there is in those
yeah.
tabs.
And it was slow.
It will get very slow.
Hmm.
Like you would see a
Did you
50,
try to
60% performance hit.
did you try to take off the blur hash background?
That's what like I said, that's kind of where I ended. Like that's where I
Hmm.
reached yesterday. Like, the, and then after that, I
Yeah.
kind of like stopped. So today is
Hmm.
where I'm trying to break down chat and start like puzzling it and like removing this, removing that, adding that, and see what exactly is causing this performance hit.
Yeah,
So
I think
that's kind of like my
that's.
plan of attack for today.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Well, um, do you want to just work independently on it, Ismail?
Yeah, now that I shared my kind of thoughts with Amin and we looked at the memory, um, I'm gonna need some time because chat is, well, it's huge, so it's gonna take me some time,
Sure.
removing things and adding them back slowly to see what might be the problem.
Okay. Okay. So in the meantime, let's do this though. I mean, did you finish up um the tag friends? Is there a
Yep.
PR?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is finished.
okay. Ismail, can you review that PR? And
Yeah,
then
I was midway reviewing it, and then I'll finish it now.
okay, I'd like to merge it and get the QA build. Chantel can test the keyboard. We can test out tag friends, all that stuff. Early in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Let me just do this then. Let me add that because the keyboard update was part of my share, like refactoring those share buttons build. So I have a new PR that has uh, that basically opens up app review. Let me update that library in that PR so that we can merge it in without having to merge the share stuff in.
Okay.
So I'll finish this PR review for Amin, and I'll finish that, and I'll send my PR over to Amin, and then we can create a QA build.
Okay. And you said app review. It made me think of the Google Play situation we have. When you said app review, did you mean the App Store review modal?
Yeah,
Okay, that'll be in there, right?
yeah.
Okay. And then I guess still need Danny to do a new video for Google Play. Um, I mean, was there anything additional for that Google Play situation that you could think of that we still need to do?
Um, from what they listed, the description and the video, so we'll do that, and then I'm not sure if we can like send them an email, something to tell us exactly which one, because there's two, and they're not really being precise about which one, and we're only using one location, the foreground location, so it must be the like the audio foreground. If it's not,
Yeah.
then I don't know. Yeah.
Hang on a second. I sent it to review. I sent that problem to review last night, and
With an updated video?
yeah, changes are in review right now. I haven't heard back from them yet, but they haven't failed it again yet.
Okay, cool.
Todd recorded a video on the Android. I updated the App Store description a little bit to fit what they're looking for on the media playback, but I am hopeful this is going to be the last one.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. Alrighty then. So then yeah, Ismail, you can have Amin review your PR when that's ready. And then I mean you're working on those other couple things, the phone verification and
Yep.
onboarding
Yep.
and user ID or the Yeah, undefined. Okay, cool. All right, so that'll be good for the day. So then we can break off. Danny, we got a bunch of other stuff to do. And Ismail, will you just let me know when that those builds are up, and we'll test them right away.
Okay.
Just real quick too, before everybody splits, where are we at on that terms of service? Or is that fixed?
Yeah, that fixed. And the next build will be
It's going to
will be
require a
fixed.
build. That's not something that we can make a
Yeah.
URL adjustment to make work right now.
No, it will require because it was like a mix of two things. It was like a front end issue and also like a URL issue. So
Could we
requires
adapt
a build.
to the current front end by modifying our current URL structure to have it fixed immediately?
Mm, it's not about the URL. Like it was like code in the front end app that needs to be changed, regardless of the URL.
Is it urgent, Ian?
It can get us pulled from the App Store right now, and it got called out online.
Yeah,
Then we can do
Okay.
what is it? The OTA. Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think they're gonna pull us from the App Store.
Okay.
I mean, we're not the first people to have it break. You know, like
I'm sure we're not. Yeah.
okay, they'll give us a minute to fix it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, what I've seen is that if you do get caught, they'll give you like a week to fix it.
Cool.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
But
good.
they could.
Okay, great. Because I'd like to get a production build by the end of the day, so it should be good on that.
Sweet.
Cool. Okay then. Danny, you want to jump on a call? I think we need a call with McCall and Zane and
Yeah.
okay.
Let's get to it.
Okay. Yep. So good. I'll
Hey,
yeah, Chantel.
Ian, can I reach out to you on the site?
I'm free. No problem.
Chantel, will you take that email I sent you from Johnny and wrap it into like a press release, and let's not send anything out officially, but let's line it all up.
Okay, doke.
Cool.
Y'all are sending out some emails.
No, we're going to work on a press release about how we're the top 1% on in all equity crowdfunding platforms and pump it out everywhere we can.
Wait, are
And
you
now-
talking about the one you sent last night?
Yeah, I forwarded you a stat from Johnny. I want to take
Yeah.
that and announce the launch of our most recent campaign and how we're the top 1% and make it an official press release. And I want to see the press release. And then once we have it, we'll get it to the
I sent that
appropriate
to you last
outlets.
night.
You sent the whole thing?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
press release of where I started. It's in the one with you, me, and Todd.
Oh, is it in Slack?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Will you email it to me?
Yes.
Thank you. Excellent. All right, John, where do you want to jump on the phone, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, I'll give you a call. Give me about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. All right then. Thanks everybody. Catch up.
Thanks,
See you
Bill.
later.
Thank you.
Hey,
Bye.
Danny, Ian, let me know when y'all need to borrow me.
Will do. Thanks, Jerry.
Yep. All right. Talk to y'all later.
Talk to you later.